Inside Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch, investigators seized files, computers, and documents that fueled endless speculation. Headlines called them secret files, suggesting shocking truths hidden behind closed doors. But what do they actually reveal? Tonight, we explore the paper trail, where fact, rumor, and myth collide in the king of pop's private world. Neverland Ranch was Michael Jackson's dream retreat, a 2,700-acre wonderland with rides, animals, and theaters. To fans, it symbolized imagination and escape. To investigators, it became a central focus during high-profile probes. Files tied to the ranch, both official and leaked, transformed it into a lasting controversy. Even today, Neverland's documents blur the line between fact and myth, keeping the fascination and debate alive. File Type 1, the 2003 to 2004 search warrants and seizures. In November 2003, Neverland Ranch was raided by dozens of investigators armed with court-approved search warrants. For hours, law enforcement combed through every room, seizing boxes of personal belongings, electronics, and records. Official filings reveal that more than 16 computers were taken, along with DVDs, tapes, and photographs. Each item was logged, numbered, and stored as potential evidence. The process was systematic, but the media outside turned it into a spectacle, with helicopters circling and reporters broadcasting live updates. For Michael Jackson, this wasn't just a search, it was the invasion of his most private world. The warrants themselves became secret files, showing what authorities believed might hold answers, and fueling years of speculation about what was really hidden inside Neverland's walls. File Type 2, FBI FOIA Vault Documents. Alongside the local investigation, the FBI was also involved, but not in the way many headlines suggested. Through Freedom of Information Act requests, hundreds of pages of FBI files have since been released in the agency's public vault. These documents detail how agents assisted California authorities with technical analysis, background checks, and tips received from the public. They also include unrelated matters like threats made against Jackson during his tours. What they do not provide is proof of guilt or secret confessions. Instead, they illustrate the bureaucracy of an investigation. Memos, reports, and communication records. To fans, the very existence of FBI files sounded ominous, but in reality, these papers revealed a story more about procedure than shocking revelations. File Type 3, Forensics and Media Handling. Once items were removed from Neverland, they entered a rigorous forensic process. Every computer, disc, and photograph was carefully cataloged, stored in evidence lockers, and examined under strict chains of custody. Reports from forensic labs typically include technical details, dates, file types, and metadata, rather than the dramatic revelations often claimed by the press. Yet as soon as these processes were underway, rumors spread quickly, with selective leaks shaping sensational headlines. Media outlets often suggested that investigators had uncovered devastating proof, but the official paperwork mostly described routine evidence handling. The gap between dry forensic language and public speculation turned these documents into objects of mystery. For Jackson, the simple act of cataloging belongings became a stage for worldwide intrigue and controversy. Contested leaked materials. What officials actually said. Years after the Neverland searches, headlines flared again in 2016 when so-called secret files were published online. The reports claimed disturbing images and documents had been uncovered, sparking worldwide outrage. But the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office issued a rare statement. While some of the material resembled their evidence, much of it had been mixed with internet content and outside sources. They stressed these pages were never officially released by the department and had only been provided to both prosecution and defense during the trial. Michael Jackson's estate quickly denounced the leaks as misleading and irresponsible. The controversy revealed how easily rumor could corrupt real evidence, blurring the line between fact and fabrication and deepening the mystery surrounding Neverland's files. The 2005 trial outcome. All of the warrants, files, and seized evidence eventually led to one of the most publicized trials in American history, People vs. Michael Jackson in 2005. For months, the world watched as prosecutors presented their case while Jackson's defense team fought back with equal intensity. Witnesses testified, experts analyzed, and the seized files were scrutinized in court. After long deliberations, the jury returned its verdict, not guilty on all counts. Jackson was fully acquitted, acquitted, legally clearing him of every charge. The decision was monumental, ending the trial, but not the controversy. To supporters, it proved his innocence. To critics, it left unanswered questions. The outcome showed how the same secret files could be viewed as evidence of both guilt and exoneration. File Type 4: Inventories, auctions, and photo archives. Not all of Neverland's files were about investigations. In 2009, a massive catalog was prepared for a Julien's auction sale of Jackson's belongings. Though the auction was later canceled, the published catalog offered a detailed inventory of Neverland's treasures: costumes, stage props, artwork, arcade games, and personal memorabilia. Around the same time, photographer Henry Leutwiler released Neverland Lost, a haunting photo series of these objects, each one carrying echoes of Jackson's private world. These records formed another kind of archive, showing a playful, imaginative side to Neverland that contrasted sharply with darker narratives. To fans, these inventories were like opening a time capsule. They reminded the world that beyond the headlines, Neverland was also a stage of creativity, fantasy, and childlike wonder. Neverland, place versus myth. Neverland Ranch was both a real place and a powerful symbol. In reality, it was a sprawling estate filled with rides, animals, theaters, and gardens. A dreamlike sanctuary built by one of the world's most famous entertainers. Yet in the public imagination, it became something darker. Every search, file, and rumor added layers of suspicion, transforming Neverland into a myth of secrecy and scandal. To supporters, it was evidence of Jackson's longing for lost childhood and creativity. To critics, it represented hidden shadows. The contrast between the physical ranch and the myth surrounding it shows how perception can reshape reality. Neverland became more than a home. It was a battlefield of narratives, where truth and rumor collided under the weight of global fascination. What the paper trail really says. Looking across the documents, a clearer picture emerges. The search warrants show what investigators wanted to examine. The FBI's FOIA files reveal technical support and routine casework. Forensic reports detail evidence handling, not dramatic discoveries. The leaked materials, disputed by officials, highlight how rumor and reality became entangled. And the trial's acquittal remains the definitive legal conclusion. In the end, the paper trail doesn't provide a hidden confession or a final answer. It tells the story of an extraordinary investigation into an extraordinary figure. The files are fragments, open to interpretation, but they prove one thing: Michael Jackson's life was forever bound to mystery. The so-called secret files of Neverland reveal less about guilt or innocence and more about the collision of celebrity, rumor, and law. They show how a man's private world can be dissected, cataloged, and endlessly debated. For Michael Jackson, every document became a reflection of the myths surrounding him. Neverland's files remain both a record and a riddle, proof that even when the legal system reaches its verdict, the public imagination continues searching for answers. What do you think the Neverland files truly reveal? Hidden truths or just layers of rumor and speculation? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective. And if you enjoy uncovering the untold stories behind Hollywood's most iconic figures, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Charlie Vintage, and hit the notification bell. Because every legend, no matter how famous, leaves behind secrets. And here, we bring those secrets back into the spotlight.